Hello, welcome to this PyPlus tutorial. My name is Konstantinos Stergiou, and on this video I will show you how to use the budget monitoring template. This template is an Excel document, so you will need Microsoft Office program. Well, this is how the budget monitoring template looks like. The most important thing before you start doing anything is to read me first, because it's the most important sheet in this template, since it gives you guidelines on what it is about, the need behind it, and explanation of each sheet in order to understand exactly what it is about. So we have what is the thought behind the budget monitoring template. So you need a good financial management, especially for Key Action 1 and Key Action 2 projects, where you might have different budget categories and different costs that appear, and you need to know at each moment how much you have spent, how much is left, where the budget went to, and where you can spend the rest of your money. So in the explanation file you will see the project summary. It's a project budget summary where the summary of the entire project as it was approved from the European Commission or your national agency. The activity budget summary, so if you have more activities than one in one project, you can see the different budget inside the activity. Under costs, invoices and bills is the place, the sheet that you enter all the data. Approved activity budget, where you add all the activities one by one and the budget which is approved for each activity. And the drop-down list is the most important sheet, since it's the place where all the data comes from. It's the source that is automatically connected to the rest of the sheets. Let's go to the project budget summary. So if you click this first sheet, you will see in the first column all these kind of expenses that might occur during a Key Action 2 strategic partnership or capacity building or Key Action 1 projects. The total budget of the project goes to column A. So if it is 60,000 euros, 70,000 euros, you can add all the costs exactly as approved in your contract. Here you can add the amount received. It can be 80%, it can be 60%, depends on the contract and the country. And the actual costs that you have already done, implemented, you see that it's blue color, which means that it goes automatically. And we will see in the next steps how this column is updated. So B minus C will give you the cash flow. A minus C will give you the budget balance, and you have it also as a percentage at the last column. If you go to activity budget summary, you will see that you can split the costs according to the cost of each category. So if you have more than one categories, it can be a youth exchange, it can be activity 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or more, you can see the costs one by one, which is very good, especially for a long-term project where you want to check, for example, how much did I spend in the last training course? Did I was over the budget, or if there is still money left from that training course that I can use in a future activity? In the next one, under costs, invoices and bills, is where you insert all the information. So you start from column A, invoice date. So you just write the date that the invoice was issued. The name of the supplier, if it was a company, if it was a private organization, then you add the name. And then here you describe the cost. The amount in national currency, since we have different currencies, we give you the opportunity here to use the exchange rate. So first you write the currency you are using, and you can choose from the ones that we have already applied. Or later on we will show you from the drop-down list how you add more currencies here. The exchange rate, which is something very important, and you need to check if the exchange rate you are using is the midterm project exchange rate, is the date that the invoice or the expense occurred or issued. So it is clarified in your contract what is the exchange rate that you have to use. And then this column is automatically calculated. Then you go to the activity and you have to choose if it is activity 1, 2 or 3 that this cost belongs to. And then you choose the categories. So it can be border lodging, it can be other costs categories that you have already created on your own. And then you give more details about the cost, and then you give details about the organization that paid that cost. So it can be any of the organizations that belong in your partnership. Then the account reference is something that you create on your own, so you can make one by one all the reference codes that you have used. Means of payment, if you paid with a credit card, cash, bank transfer, or whatever. And of course, if there is an account, you have a transfer reference, you can use it, or you can just leave it empty if there is no account reference, maybe you paid in cash. The date of payment, and if any other comments needed. But obviously you all wonder how these lists appear here, but they are connected from the last sheet, which is the drop-down lists. So here is where all the data source comes from. And you can see that it's already described again. On the upper line, on this page, you find the list that are associated with the drop-down menus you find in the template. This is where you can change which options you have in the menus. To change, simply mark the box and change the text. So if you want, for example, to change an organization from these ones, so you just go A, B, C organization is added in your drop-down list. So if you go back to enter costs and invoices and you want to choose the organization, you can see here now that A, B, C is already in your list. It's very simple, and you just need to practice a bit in order to make it easier for you. So it goes one by one. Column I here, for example, is related to the activity. So if you go back to enter costs, you see column I, which is connected and related to the activities. So if I change here training course and I write a TC, for example, I press enter and I go back to the invoices and bills and I will find here the TC. And it goes like this. And you have column E, the currency, and J up to the end where you have all the costs, where you have all the subcategories of the costs. You can scroll down if you want to add more, and then you easily add any other comments or categories that you would like to add. It's very simple, and you just need to practice. And of course there is one more sheet, which is the approved budget for activities. It is for the cases that we have one project with several activities inside and you want to see one by one if you have money left or if you have spent most of the money, which is the source to give you information for the project budget summary or the activity budget summary, which will help you a lot to see activity by activity where you are. In general, we would advise you to try a lot and make different examples. It will help you before you start reporting financially your project. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions or comments, please leave any comment at the end of this video. And we hope you enjoy it, and thank you very much for your time.